And welcome back to another edition of the MLB Inside the Diamond podcast. I'm your host, Tom Johnson. I'm joined by the one and only Lamar Fields. How's your week been, brother? How you doing?
Pretty good. How about yours?
No, it's going by. It's one day at a time and keeping it moving. But it's been great. College football and all that's back. And that our first topic today is the Baltimore Orioles. Now, Lamar, I want your thoughts on this because how a lot of people were whenever they looked at the Orioles at the start of the season until now. Where did you think the Orioles would be, and have they surpassed your expectations so far?
Thought the world would be near the bottom, but looking a bit more competitive than what they have been the last few years. But they have exceeded those expectations. Still in the wild card hunt, one and a half games back. So they definitely went way over the expectations, I'm sure, for the season. I'm pretty sure everybody had them picked dead last in the AL East.
Yeah. Uh, I could tell you right now is that I really didn't like. Okay, I seen that the Orioles were going to be where they were in their division, but I honestly thought that maybe just maybe they would have had a little bit of competition in them, and they have because it's easy to say okay they have a bunch of top prospects that are with their team to start out the regular season and on their major league roster, but how are those top prospects going to perform? But you got to ask yourself, are those the actual major league ready ones? And I think the Orioles have answered the call to that. They're not even that far out of a wild card spot. I think they're a half game out of the third and the final wild card spot. And, I think whenever you look at it, I don't think that anyone projected the Orioles to be here. I mean, I saw a stat the other day that said the win total and projection for the Orioles this year was going to be 62 or 63 wins. So, by right now they've surpassed that expectation. What are your thoughts on that? Where did you see the Orioles win wise? And do you actually think that they have a legit chance at securing that third and final wild card?
Yeah, I didn't see him winning this many games. Yeah, they got a legit chance. They only one half games back, and it's been like that for a while. Just gotta keep playing well. I mean, they might as well. They got to go for it now. You're right there in position. You might as well go for it. Don't be happy
Exactly.
with, oh, we already exceeded expectations, so no matter what happens. Yeah, that's the way to look at it. But you also want to go just get in the playoffs.
hmm That is true. And the thing about it, they made a couple of trades at the trade deadline, and who they traded away wasn't really getting much applause from the fans in Trey Mancini. But sometimes as a ball club, you got to do what you got to do, and maybe they just thought we're in a better direction this way than we are the other way around. But yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't expect the Orioles to be there, but hey, I mean they're there, and you just got to respect the Orioles and their willingness to not give up
Yeah.
per se. Now on to topic number two. So this earlier this week, it was announced that Arte Moreno is exploring the option of selling the Angels. What is your take on this, Lamar? Because I know you got a lot to say about the Angels.
Yeah, probably tired of spending money and seeing no results on the field. I mean, they spend all this money, go get players, and players don't perform. Like Rendon, hardly ever see the field. And that Pujols gave all that money to back. Josh Hamilton, even Gary Matthews Jr. One more I'm missing. Upton, yeah, they gave
Yeah, probably.
sure a lot of money, and only like two of the players actually produced.
hmm
So I mean, probably tired of like losing and like I just steal a team and get some money and move on if that's what he decided to do.
You know, I was reading so many articles about like what's like the core reason behind this, and a lot of it stems from that there's like lack with development efforts in and around Angel Stadium, and there's a lot of other things, and I think not that money is a huge factor, but a lot of people were speaking how back in 2003 or whenever Moreno bought the Angels, he only spent like 169 or 189 million dollars, and now the franchise itself, even if you say, oh, they've had a lack of this and a lack of that, is worth well over $2 billion in present day. So that's going to come as a huge paycheck for sure. But I don't think it's looked at from the money aspect. I think maybe there's stuff that we may not know about, such as what development issues are lagging. Because maybe Moreno wants some development, but other investors per se or other people. Either within the organization or around the organization just don't see it the same way. But I mean, either way, you need to, they need to do something because it doesn't look right on them with where they're at right now. You have Trout, you have Ohtani, and you keep dishing out these big contracts, but what are you getting in return? You've had one postseason playoff game in like what the past 5+ years.
Yeah.
It's not a good look, but hey, if Moreno gets to sell them, I hope he sells them to some ownership that is willing to invest, willing to do what's needed to bring the vibe back, because it doesn't look good no matter which side of the spectrum you're on whenever you're looking at it from one side or the other. If you're going to spend money, expect to win. And you also need to invest in other things to make sure that happens. So it's no surprise that he's looking at selling it. The question is will he get what he wants? And he probably will. Now, here's a third topic, and this is interesting. I really want your thoughts on this. Major League Baseball came out with next year's regular season schedule, and it looks a lot different. And what are your thoughts on that, Lamar?
It's a lot different, but I like it. I like everybody playing everybody. I mean, baseball is a game that, I mean, you either like it or you don't. I mean, you can't fix it. You can't cut the innings down. And I mean, you can, but you can't. To me, you can't cut the innings down. Baseball is baseball, but you can evolve with the schedule. Give fans a chance to see some of these other teams and other players. I like it. I mean, the Giants started in New York and then play Chicago. I mean, give teams in certain cities like a chance to see their favorite team if they don't even come there. If they, you know what I mean? I mean, it can't hurt the divisional races, but I mean, it is what it is. You got to evolve with the times on certain aspects of the game, and I think adjusting the schedule is a good way to do that. That's my opinion.
When I first heard that this was actually happening and I looked, I was actually very shocked, but I had actually one question that popped into my head, and it was, why hasn't this already been done? Because when the Astros moved to the American League, both the American League and National League had an even amount of teams. Why didn't you really just play everyone from the start? And, if I'm also thinking about it, why is it that I'm actually in favor of them cutting down divisional games? Because whenever I read a few articles and I seen what was happening, I was just like, okay, so this is to make up for, say, if someone's playing in a weak division where, they may only be the best team that's in that division. That's where I see that this is a good ordeal, because it's like, well, you faced every other team in the league, and that can prove to be a pivotal onset for the future. I mean, I actually love this kind of schedule. I also love the fact that the New York Yankees are coming back to Pittsburgh in September. But I think it's really intriguing because, coming from growing up and watching the Pirates in the National League, I come to realize it's just seeing the same teams can be quite boring. And, whenever you get an influx of new teams, it's like, wow, we haven't played this team in forever, whatever. Like, it actually makes you like want to go because it's something new that you're not accustomed to, Is there anyone in particular is there any particular team that you want to see play the Giants that never has really gotten to?
Uh, The Red Sox would be nice.
Red Sox.
They played once before, a couple of years ago, but before that, it was hardly ever. Same as with the Yankees.
See, that's the thing. I also think that the fact that Major League Baseball's instituting this is a big win because if you have less division games, okay, that means that they might be a bit more competitive than what they already can be because it's just like, okay, well, we've lost some divisional games, but I also like to see every team play one another. And a fun fact, the Pirates will be facing the Angels on my birthday. So, and it won't be at home, but that's besides the point. But anyway, I love the new schedule outlook. Hopefully it attracts more viewers and hopefully it does what it's supposed to do because I've already been looking at a few games I'd like to attend. Now, here is a big topic, and this is Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners. Lamar, I know you have a lot to say about this because quite frankly, the contract that he could sign is a very lengthy one and very costly one at that. What is your reaction to this so far?
Crazy, a 14-year deal for a rookie playing his first season. I mean, like, dang, you ain't even give him a couple of years to prove himself. I mean, I get it, y'all. So y'all think he's gonna potentially be good and develop into this player. So you kind of look smart if you do develop him into being the player you think he is. But if he doesn't, then you stuck with this money. I mean, he's having a nice season, batting like 269, 20 homers, 20 stolen bases, which is decent for a rookie. But for starting next year, you're going to have to get up in the 300s and 30 homers, 30-30 type seasons to earn that money. I mean, it's a risk, but if they think he's going to be good, then hey, it's a good risk. You ain't got to worry about paying him. Like, say you wait 3 or 4 years and he turn out to be great. Then you're looking at like 500 million, 600 million, whatever the rate going to be. Because you know all these contracts get crazier and crazier as the years go by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I were the Mariners, here's what I would do. I would hold off because the guy's only a rookie.
Yeah.
I mean, let me see 2 or 3 consistent years, but let me see 2 to 3 consistent years where the stats actually improve to where because it's just like I hate to say it. We've seen these long-term contracts and they don't work out. And the owners always go on record saying, I regret doing this. I mean, how many players can we think of?
I get that, but the long-term contracts don't work out when the guys are in their 30s, not in their early 20s.
Yeah. Hey, the Mariners, I would at least hope the Mariners front office knows what they're doing. I would assume that they do, but I think that how long do you think? Let's just hypothetically speak that they do reach a multi-year long-term contract extension. When do you think that happens? Do you think that they just go into early rounds of negotiation right now, but then like say next year or the year after that get more serious about it or what? Because like he is only a rookie, so
I was under the impression that it was already done.
Huh?
I thought the deal was already done.
It was? Because the way I was reading it, it said that they were negotiating it. It didn't say it was done. Because if that's the case, it's
done. Julio Rodriguez inks contract extension for Seattle up to worth $469.6 million.
Oh wow!
It's done.
Wow, Lamar, that is crazy.
200 million guaranteed.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, let's put it this way, okay? Is this Seattle saying that, okay, we recognize he is the future and let's just build around him? Considering you have no salary cap in baseball, so, you're really on the hook for anything you spend. I mean, you've always been on the hook for that, but like you're not limited to what you can spend.
Yeah, it's crazy. I never seen a rookie in baseball get a contract extension like that fast. But hey, they trust their scouting department. They trust he's gonna put in the work,
They're
and
trusting their system is what they're doing.
yep, trust him he's gonna put in the work to get better. And hey, it's their money, so we'll see what happens. It's gonna be definitely something to keep your eye on for the 14 years.
There will. There will
Because if he
because
doesn't play up to par, then they stuck.
well, it all depends because
Yeah.
I know with those long-term contracts, they use like the agents and the teams usually like put in certain
It's
like
some.
clauses.
I think it's some player options and team options. I'm sure there's some clauses in there. So if you don't, there got to be some type of clause in there where if you batting like not playing well, bat like for 218 for 3 straight seasons, that something's got to happen. I have to go into find an article that gets to the fine print of the contract to see. So I believe
Hmm.
there's some team and player options in there. So if I'm the Mariners, you got to have a team option in there. Like, okay, if 3 years, okay, in 4 or 5 years, we can void the rest of the contract if we need to. But I have to actually dive into the article and see it. Because I got to have that type of clause in there because I couldn't see him playing. I mean, just a rookie, man. It's hard to believe a rookie get a contract just fast like that.
That might
Hey,
be
they
a
believe,
record.
yeah, they believe in him. So, hey,
I
we'll
mean,
see what happens.
there's nothing wrong with believing, but
Yeah,
I want to see like at least 2 to 3 years of
yeah,
consistency, but in an
yeah,
upward trajectory because then
yeah,
it's like, okay, well, yeah, let's do it. But like
yeah,
after one season, I mean, hey, they're the ones doing all the homework. They're the ones that are doing
yeah,
what they need to do. So, whenever people have said that, oh, well, the Mariners haven't done nothing in the past, well, I guess the Mariners are showing people that they're trying to do something now. And, I mean, hey, they can either do it or they can't. Either way, someone's probably going
yeah,
to say something no matter what.
yeah.
It, it's been one heck of a crazy baseball season this far. I know from a standpoint that if I were to say a team that's been most surprising so far, I would honestly have to say it's been the Orioles. And, I know at the beginning of this podcast how we said the Angels might be good this year. That has shrunk down. But in all honesty, I mean, I haven't seen this kind of competition in out of the Orioles in quite some time. And I think the reason why a lot of people are interested, it's not what they're doing, but how they're doing it. They're staying in these close games and their pitching's doing solid, but their prospects are contributing how
Oh,
they
you can turn
should.
turn it off. You need to get ready.
And it's it's going to be a fun ride. What would you think if the Orioles were to say get in? Because I think that they really have a legit chance. You have what 6 weeks plus? I know you have like 6 weeks of the season remaining and stuff. I know a lot of things can happen, but with the way that the Orioles have been, that third wild card spot now is shown to be more vital than ever.
Yeah, it's a close race. It's gonna go down to the wire. I think.
Oh, it
I'm just
definitely
it's
is.
good. I'm glad to hope the Orioles stay into the end, man. Because sometimes you see these teams that's overachieving, they stay in it, then they start tailing off. The Orioles staying right there.
Mm-hmm.
I go to show you, man. You play good, hard, fundamental baseball, then you can stay in games.
Oh yeah, and it also goes to show that you can have what the Orioles had coming into the season because a lot of people says, okay, the prospects that the Orioles have, but then now you see, okay, wait, maybe those prospects actually are worth a bit of something, and because they're helping to contribute to where the Orioles as a team are at. And to be honest with you, I see Baltimore keeping this up, and it's going to be scary because a lot of people looked at Baltimore as just the doormat team. And, now they're showing that we're going to come to the ballpark and we're going to play, whether we win, lose, or whatever. We're going to play fundamental baseball. And that's what I respect out of them. It because I did not project them to have like 60 wins by now, but they're there, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy for their fan base because I know how people have looked at the Baltimore Orioles in the past. They don't really look at them as a team to be winning, but now things are hopefully shifting in the right direction for them as a franchise and an organization, because the more teams that are competitive, the better baseball is. I mean, think about it right now. The Yankees and the Mets are both really good. And truth be told, it's good for baseball. I mean, I know at the beginning I had told people, oh yeah, with Jacob deGrom out for the Mets, yeah, it's going to be tough for them. And look at how they've rebounded. They've showed resilience. They can rely on Max Scherzer, but all the talent and the depth that they got there, they've showed that they could stick in. And now that they have deGrom back, I think he actually makes the Mets more lethal now, because the Mets actually proved, yeah, we could stay in the thick of things without him, but with him, we're probably twice as dangerous. So to me, those are my two surprise teams for right now. I'll go with that, just based off of how they've started, but where they're currently at. It's going to be great to see how it unfolds for them going forward. But I would say that those are two of my surprise teams right now.
Yeah.
How about you?
Just the Orioles only surprise team I have. I wasn't surprised with the Mets. I knew deGrom was out, but they still had depth in their starting rotation. Still had some good hitters. So I'm just with the Orioles for right now. Nobody else really that surprising.
Oh yeah, I mean the Central, it kind of looks as how, at least in both divisions, how we anticipated. But we ultimately know who is going to take control of the division, and right now they are. And that's the whole thing. Now you start to say, okay, with some of these leads that are in the divisions, you could start calling them within the next couple of weeks, because more games will have gone by, and if their gets extended or increases, it's going to be tough for other teams. And this is the best part about baseball is this is where it gets interesting from here until the rest of the season, because you have that third wild card spot on. And, unless you already locked up your division, maybe like some teams or other teams that haven't, but it's all gonna come together. Who are you looking forward to making an early run at it for the postseason? About 6 weeks out.
Looking forward to seeing in the postseason. Looking forward to seeing the Mets with deGrom and Scherzer. Time you got two
Yes.
stop knots. Time you got two aces like that, you got a great chance of winning.
Yeah, I'm actually very thrilled to see the Mets and how they're doing. That's going to be an interesting deal, because yes, you do have like two aces legit on that team, and even with Mad Max where his age is, he has really shown no signs of slowing down. And I think that shows a lot. It shows a lot about his training, but it shows the depth and everything that the Mets have, and it's been great. But that's going to do it for this edition of the MLB Inside the Diamond podcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and thank you, Lamar, for taking the time out of your day to see what's been going on this past week in Major League Baseball. We'll be back next week with another edition. See you guys.